Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my college football playoff Sugar Bowl matchup between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the Georgia injury report, starting with quarterback CARSON BECK with an arm injury, punter Brent Thorson with a knee injury, Joseph Joni with a lower body injury, running back Roderick Robinson II with a lower body injury, all out for this game. Then moving on to running back Branson Robinson with a leg injury and defensive lineman Christian Miller with a shoulder injury, both questionable for the game. Now, when it comes down to it, I honestly believe that both Branson and Christian will play. But the big hurdle is, how are you going to do without your star quarterback CARSON BECK? Now, honestly, I'm not going to say Stockton isn't a bad quarterback. So, honestly, it's going to hinder the offense, obviously, not having your star quarterback. But I think Stockton will do a very good job instead of the star quarterback CARSON BECK. But in the end, losing your star quarterback, losing two potential running backs, you lost one, you could lose another. Honestly, even though you lost one defensive lineman and potentially another, isn't as big as losing your star quarterback. So I'm going to say the injuries will honestly hinder the Georgia offense over their defense. Now, moving on to the offense of the Georgia Bulldogs, we got quarterback Gunnar Stockton coming in for the injured CARSON BECK, running back Trevor Etienne, wide receivers Dylan Bell, Arian Smith, and Dominic Lovett. Tight end is Oscar Delp, left tackle Ernest Green III, left guard Dylan Fairchild, center Jared Wilson, right guard Tate Ratledge, and Xavier Truss at right tackle. Now, when it comes to this offensive line, I'm trusting it fully to protect, now Gunnar Stockton, obviously, as CARSON BECK ain't playing. But yeah, in the end, it's going to be a very interesting game now that Stockton's going to get the start over BECK. Honestly, this is going to be a very different offense. Obviously, getting another quarterback is honestly going to make your offense a little different. It always will. That will never change. But in the end, I'm thinking, and this is just a thought, I'm thinking that CARSON BECK obviously he won't play in this game, but he'll come back for probably the semifinals or the national championship. Doesn't matter. In the end, Stockton right now is going to be the quarterback, and I think that he'll lead this team to the promised land. He'll have good protection. He has some good targets to throw to, and he's got a good running back in the backfield. So I expect a lot from this offense with Gunnar Stockton at quarterback. Now, moving on to the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs, we've got defensive ends Michael Williams and Chaz Chambliss, with defensive tackles Nazir Stockhouse and Christian Miller. Now, Christian Miller, if he cannot go, Warren Brinson will take over. CJ Allen at middle linebacker, weak side linebacker Samel Munden Jr. At corners, we got Dalen Everett and Julian Humphrey, with nickelback Jolene Aguero, free safety Malaki Starks, and KJ Bolden at strong safety. Now, when it comes to this defense, I'm honestly gonna say it's gonna have a tough time against the offense led by quarterback Riley Leonard of Notre Dame, and obviously Jeremiah Love as well in that backfield. Is going to be a tough time for the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm going to say as long as they can stop the run and keep pressure on Leonard, that's all they need to do. They got some decent defensive linemen. They got some good linebackers and some decent corners. Now, can decent take these guys down? Probably. There's a chance. But in the end, I'm thinking that in the end, we're going to be seeing a tough matchup between the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs and the offense of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, moving on to the Notre Dame injury report, starting with defensive lineman Riley Mills with a knee injury, cornerback Benjamin Morrison with a hip injury, and Bakar Krashore with a knee injury, all out for this game. Now, this is going to be a heavily injured defense without Mills, Morrison, and Treshore. In the end, I think that it's going to be tough for this defense to really go up against the Georgia Bulldog offense, even if they don't have, obviously, CARSON BECK. I still think that it's going to be a tough time. And even so, I'm going to say this. I'm going to be honest. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, I'm going to be honest. This team is going to have a tough time, but it's still going to be decent because they're going up against a new quarterback. Carson Beck was the quarterback. He's out for this game. So make sure to pressure that quarterback. Make sure the run game is canceled with Trevor Etienne. I almost called him Travis. And make sure that receiving core doesn't get a single catch in this game. Now, moving on to the offense of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, starting off with quarterback Riley Leonard, running back Jeremiah Love, Bew Collins, Jordan Fison, and Jaden Greathouse at wide receivers, tight end Mitchell Evans, left tackle Antoine Knapp, left guard Sam Pendleton, center Pat Coogan, right guard Rocco Spindler, and right tackle Emil Wagner. Now, when it comes to this offense, I think that they'll honestly struggle a little bit, but as long as you can get those runs and those holes for Jeremiah Love and hope that Riley Leonard is able to withstand the pressure from the Georgia defense, I think you got this game in the bag, and probably maybe even 3 touchdowns from Leonard and 2 from Love. Something like that. Now, that may be an exaggeration, but I think that it is possible. So, in the end, I'm thinking that the Georgia Bulldogs defense will have a tough time against this offense. Now, on to the defense of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We got defensive ends RJ Oben, Joshua Burnham, defensive tackle Howard Cross III, defensive tackle Gabriel Rubio, weak side linebacker Jack Kisser, middle linebacker Drake Bowen. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. Strong side linebacker Jalen Sneed, corners Christian Gray and Leonard Moore, nickelback Jordan Clark, free safety Xavier Watts, and Endon Schuler at strong safety. Now, this defense is going to have to go up against Gunnar Stockton and Trevor Etienne and Dylan Bell, all these guys. So, I'm going to be honest. This is going to be a tough time for this defense. They're going to have to make sure the pressure from Oben, from Burnham, and Cross, all these guys on the defensive line, that they pressure the quarterback, make sure all the holes are shut for Trevor Etienne, and then once you control that, you got your corners and safeties doing a decent job in the secondary, making sure certain players aren't open. Now, honestly, it's always going to be someone open. In the end, as long as you keep the pressure on the quarterback and make him make mistakes, that's what the Notre Dame defense needs to do. Now, in conclusion, I have this game going 34-33 in favor of Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame will come out with the win with a game-winning field goal. I think they'll have a good opportunity, Gunnar Stockton and that Georgia offense. But in the end, I think they'll be shut down eventually, but they'll still have the lead. But at the end, the defense of the Georgia Bulldogs will crumble, and then a game-winning field goal is allowed by the Georgia Bulldogs, and the, obviously, Notre Dame Fighting Irish advance to the next round of the college football playoffs. Honestly, this is going to be a very fun game to watch, and I can't wait to watch it. And hopefully, maybe we'll even see a very, very, very good game between the two. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, who do you think will win and who do you think will lose? Georgia or Notre Dame? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.